where I'm hiding in all the fluff, I can't deal with it. So I go into a state of cognitive dissonance. And that for me actually is what drinking and drugs that's my interpretation of what I did. I would purposely put myself into a state where I knew I couldn't handle talking about anything meaningful, and I talk a load of shit, and I, just go out and want to get with girls and all the rest of it, which is a state of cognitive dissonance, because my true soul is saying, what are you fucking doing? You need to deal with so much stuff.
We had a conversation the other day as well about, it hit me when someone said it, when you do cocaine, a lot of people say, I like the talking aspect, I like to be able to talk with my friends. What I believe is that it puts your ego, like drugs and alcohol, puts your ego, they're drunk. The ego's drunk, so now the soul can come through. It's to be taught, just literally to tell your story. And you're not worried because you're so out of it, you don't really care about how you feel when you're doing it, you just say it. And that just goes to show how much we need to tell our story and how much to speak. And then to touch on what you said, sometimes we don't say it because we don't want the people we're speaking to hear. We don't want them to go through the pain that we're going through, or to worry your parents. Like some of the things I did, I'd be ashamed to tell my parents, like because they blame themselves then for their parenting from things that I've got myself into. So this is why it's so important, I think, as well, to find communities, to find a platform, to find a coach, to be able to just go, wow. Because if you don't, it eats away at you. There's certain things, when you brought up your subject, there's things you just forgot. You just bury it so much, but it's there because it just pops up again.
Yeah. And what sorry, go, keep going, mate.
I was going to say, I love to narrow things down to energy as well. And just the cocaine thing, this is a great way that I was explained it. Imagine from an energy standpoint, like we moan about cannabis and we moan about mushrooms and plants. Plant, imagine you pull it from the floor, it goes through a few people and then you have it. Cocaine, if you look at what comes from it, where it's made, it's smuggled, there's murders, there's rape, there's trafficking, there's everything to get to someone else. It goes up people's bumholes, it goes everywhere around the world. That's energy. And then you're sticking this energy in your body, and this horrible feeling that people get, especially on the come downs where you regret it, that's other energy that you're taking through. And like that just was like, whoa, that was an eye-opener for me. But like we talk, we're allowed to say our things, but at the same time we're vibrating on this horrible feeling too. So yeah, this whole thing, like it's really close to me because I didn't have people to talk to because I didn't want to share it. I stayed in my room. I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, I thought of my parents and stuff that I didn't want them to deal with this sort of stuff. So I don't tell anyone. I do think there is something about like being able to just get it out. Once you got it out, all of a sudden you observe it because it's over there. It's not inside you anymore.
Bang on. I've never heard you describe it like that before, that whole cocaine thing. That is frigging bang on. That is literally it. You are literally sniffing up so much crap and evil from an energetic standpoint, because we all know how you make down the pub, you make Dave that you meet in the pub toilets. Where does it come? We all know it goes through a horrific journey. And we also all know, hi Jojo, we also know that we are sniffing a load of shite as well. Because it's jumped up and down on with all sorts of other crap. And we're taking our chance every single time you're sticking old 10-pound Lizzie up your nostril and going, you do not know what you're sniffing. You have no frigging idea what you're actually putting up your nose. And that's truth. That's for everyone. No one can tell me, unless you're there planting that cocaine plant and then putting it into powder, you can't tell me I'm wrong. You're fucking bullshitting yourself. You have no idea what you're putting up your nose. Just, again, it's the process. My God, that was a perfect way to describe it, mate. You're using something, and in my, like I said, I'll talk from experience. I used it because I couldn't deal with bad energy in me that needed desperately to come out and for me to observe and for me to get coached on it, because no one's an expert in going through that. You don't just become an expert just because you've gone through it. You can become an expert in hiding it. But so all that bad energy, and then I'm sniffing everyone else's bad energy up my nose to make me think that I'm going to get away from it, mate. It's scary. It really is. And every time, every line for those of us out there that have done, or those unfortunately that are still going to do, just think about that. That is literally, you are inhaling someone else's bad energy up your nose, more than likely because you aren't happy with just being you. Because if you was, why would you want to do cocaine in the first place? If you was happy with just your, okay, let's say most people do, okay, I'd say the majority of people do coke in a social environment, right? Would you say? Right? So are
More than what
you,
people, no, because I was oblivious to all drugs. When I was growing up, I was the most anti-drug person there was. Like my parents even said, if I got done for being in drugs, they would never visit me in prison. So that just stuck with me from like a young age. But when I come into the city of London, I didn't realise how much it was. And again, guys, this whole talk's not about don't do cocaine. You're a really bad person if you do it. No, it's the opposite. It's if you're doing it, it's fine, but it's to bring more awareness to it. But also, how many people regret the next day? How many people are laying in bed going, "Why have I done that again?" How many people are spending a shitload of money on something that then they forget their whole night on? And this is the whole thing about developing ourselves, is that we can spend the same money or even half the amount just to make us feel better. And yet we choose to do cocaine to feel better. So it's kind of like we've got our roles reversed on this. And it's bringing awareness to it, because we all know that we do something too much. And we all know, I shouldn't keep doing this. But there's a point. We all hit a point in our lives where we're like, I need to make a change now. It could be a sudden shock. It could be a loved one just giving you a last warning. Or it could be a health scare. It could be like, if you keep doing this, you are going to die. That's where we don't want to get you to that position. We want you to have these thoughts, because also I want to show you from personal experience, my life and yours, James, has changed in such a way in a short amount of time, really, just because I'm starting to make more conscious decisions around this, and also speaking to other people that have gone through far much more than what we have. Like
definitely.
one of my clients' stories is like he's now a coach at the AA meetings. And he says people come up and they tell their story, and then he'll just say just a tiny bit of his, and their mouths are just, it's like, what am I complaining about when you see what other people go through? So again, just to reinforce, it's not us kind of diminishing it, because it is about, and sometimes you don't see your mates all year and they all do it and you get just caught into it. But again, it's trying to be more present around it. And also, if you want to make some positive changes in your life, that only starts with you. That's it. Like you can listen to everyone else, but it's still you that says yes or no. So really, you're putting suffering on yourself if you choose not to, when you want to make a change. And again, that's where help comes in. That's where coaching comes in. That's where talking to other people come in.
Beautiful. And to support what you just said, and to go back to the social point I was going to make. So, Hazard, you just said something beautiful. Like I said, this isn't a place of judgment, right? At all. Our position is not judging, it's how incredible you are as a human, first and foremost. Every one of us can say that about ourselves.